Welcome to the Bachelor Breakdown, where we break down the game of life.
Especially the games that men play.
I'm your girl, Erica.
I'm Ashley. Let's break it down.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Bachelor Breakdown. I gotta be honest, Erica. I'm tired of this motherfucker today.
Me too. You look great, but I was like, I'm gonna wake up this morning and I'm gonna blow out my hair so I can look cute. Because the last couple episodes I've been struggling. The hair is pulled back in a bun. This has been me like pretty much all summer because I'm helping with my niece and nephew. And you have your two kids 24. I don't know how you do. You're always gone. So it's just like I'm a little tired. That's why I'm looking a little rough. A little rough.
I feel the same. Like I'm like, oh, I gotta put myself together, and I've like,
Oh,
in the busyness of summertime. Oh my god, I saw the
mhm,
funniest thing on Instagram the other day. It was like a mom talking about like summertime with her kids,
mhm.
and she was like, I have a refrigerator full of like vegetables, but you know what? I don't really care. I'm gonna give them the fucking snacks because I'm tired and
Right?
I'm overstimulated and I don't know what day it is or what time it is.
Yep.
I just know like kids are running around and I'm just completely out of sorts. And that is
Mhm.
what summertime is for moms. And
I
I've
can
been
imagine.
traveling with my kids all
Yes, you
summer
have.
because they play sports and it never it never ends. I just I was a nerd in school, so I didn't have this sport experience, like,
Yeah.
and now
Me
that my
too.
kids are, like, very athletic and they love the sports and I'm at a tournament almost every weekend, I'm just kinda like, "Where am I? What day is it? What do I need to do? What are my adult responsibilities?" Like, I live in a gym.
Yeah.
I actually saw a guy, that I met when I was 17 years old with my ex. It was like his agent and his agent's
Oh, okay.
like right hand man. They all worked
Mhm,
at the company together, and I saw him over the weekend. Pierre had a AAU basketball tournament in Chicago over the weekend,
mhm.
and he walked. I haven't seen him in years, but we like caught up a little bit, and he was like, "Oh my god, like you've spent your life in a gym," and I was like, "I've been in a gym since I was 17 years old, watching sports that I don't play." And he was like, "You'll probably be in the gym till you're 60." And I'm like, "Please, no." He was like, "Yeah." He was like, "You need to go and write that book." And I was like, "You know what? I need to write that book
You
because
should. Well, I don't see Pierre or, Rael honestly slowing down because
oh,
they're both excellent, excellent.
girl,
So, yeah, that might be your life.
I've spent over half my life in a gym and I've never played a sport. Speaking of, I have my Alabama hat on today because
I
my baby girl, I don't know if I've announced this here, but my baby girl
No, you didn't.
committed to play volleyball at the University of Alabama. And
I
I'm
love
so
it.
excited for her because she has worked her ass off um,
Aw. Is she
to,
watching the
to,
Olympics?
no, not yet.
Not yet.
I probably
She
shouldn't say
has
that,
No,
but
has she
she's
been watching it?
well,
The
it started when we were in Chicago, so we were, like, in and out of the
Oh.
hotel room, I've watched, the men's basketball a little bit, and we did
Mhm.
watch the gymnastics yesterday. We were, like, waiting to come
I
back
watched
home,
it all day. Mhm.
and we watched the gymnastics, and I tell you what, that's my own girl.
I
She
know.
never ceases to amaze me.
I mean, she's just, and a lot of people say, they wish she didn't have that moment with the little, where she had the mental health moment. I don't know how to properly say that, but remember they call it like the
Yeah,
twisties, and she was saying it was like her body and her mind were not
yeah.
connected. And I was like, oh, I have the twisties daily. So I was like, I get it. I got the twisties. Now I have a diagnosis for it. But the thing is that, I love that she was so open and vulnerable and they did an interview with her. Because I think a
Yeah.
lot of people are really dealing with that. You can't always be on. And I
Well,
love that, you
I
know?
love that I love that people are finally talking about it because I feel like mental
Mhm.
health challenges as it relates to people in sports have existed for
Yes.
decades, but the stigma around mental health and having a therapist
Mhm.
and talking about your feelings, like that wasn't allowed 20, 30 years ago.
Mhm.
And now
Mhm.
I'm so grateful that it is because going
Mhm.
back to like this past weekend at Pierre's AAU tournament, when I
Mhm.
say AAU basketball is the most toxic abusive environment that I have ever been in.
Really?
Oh, girl. It like you walk past and like coaches are screaming at players, parents are screaming at refs,
Coach. Interrupts.
coaches, like games in if the boys lose. And like mind you, this is 12-year-old basketball that my son
Yeah,
is a part of.
yeah. You
He
forget
like
how little they are, how young they
they're
are.
big, but boys, but
They're
they're young.
babies.
They're 12, they're developing, right? And like
Yeah.
I saw one team lose a game and the coach pulled the boys in the hallway and literally, Erica, the coach starts going off on these little boys. Now, mind you, they're all middle school, whether they're 6th grade or 8th grade, they're still middle school
Yeah.
boys. But
Mhm.
coach was like calling a boy, like, you're a pussy, you're soft. And I'm like, whoa, whoa,
No.
whoa.
Let's rewind it.
This is, no one's going to the NBA right now.
No,
No
no.
one's getting an offer right now. They're in middle school. This should be about developing, teaching them like life
That makes it where it's not
skills.
fun for them.
Right. Like you should be building up their confidence. And my daughter plays AAU volleyball, right? I
Mhm,
plays AAU
mhm,
volleyball. And just the two different dynamics and the two different like I guess standards for
mhm,
coaching and,
mhm.
and and just like culture in those two different environments like couldn't be more different. Like I would never, and like I was always with Rael at like, her volleyball,
Mhm,
so I've been in these two different environments, and I
mhm.
I see the stark differences. Like I would never allow someone to speak to my daughter that way at 12 years old. Now her 16, like
Yeah.
like as they get older, they can
Mhm.
take more of like
Yeah.
criticism, more
Mhm,
harsh language. I don't condone abuse, verbal abuse,
mhm,
any kind of abuse,
mhm,
emotional abuse, physical abuse.
mhm,
I don't condone any kind of abuse. But
mhm,
coaching styles at 16, like if a coach said to her, "What the fuck was that?" Like that's fine. She's 16, she can handle it.
mhm,
But at
mhm.
12, you calling them names and degrading them, and even she knows the difference. She was like, it's one thing to
Oh, 'cause she was
criticize.
there with you.
Yeah, she's like, it's one thing to criticize someone. It's and challenge them in a healthy way. And it's a completely different thing to degrade them and demean them and diminish them. Because when you're dealing with 12-year-olds, psychologically, they're still developing, right? So
Mhm,
if they
mhm,
think every time they do something wrong, you're going to criticize them or speak to them in a way that decreases their self-worth or self-image or self-esteem, like they
mhm.
will become like afraid to just be who
Yeah,
they
do
are,
anything.
to
Mhm.
do anything. So it's almost like paralysis,
Par
like mental
Yeah,
paralysis. So you
paralyzing
think
them.
about that, what 12-year-olds are exposed to, what I'm sure Simone has been exposed to in the different coaching styles, like years and years of that type of like having to navigate and survive those type of environments has to have an effect on your mental health. And girl,
100%
when
it
I tell
does.
you see grown men. I'm just gonna
Mhm.
rant a little bit about AAU basketball. You
Yes, let
see
it go. I'm
grown
learning.
men, and this is why I don't trust people with my kids. I don't give a damn what your intentions are. How you treat my kids and how they feel around you is my metric, right? So
Mhm.
if my son is coming home crying because of the way you've spoken to him, we have an
Yeah.
issue.
Yes.
I face a different challenge because
Mhm.
whatever, you know what it is,
Yeah.
the team my son plays for. So I face
Mhm.
a different challenge in that.
Yeah, yeah.
But to see grown men, not like
Mhm.
teenagers, grown men have complete meltdowns, get angry, throw things, kick things, curse everybody out, jump up and down, like
Mm-mm.
explosive, volatile behavior.
It's
If
not
a woman,
necessary.
if not one, it's not necessary, but two, if a woman did that, oh, she would
Oh,
be like
she'd be unhinged.
crazy, unhinged, hysterical, like,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I'm like, wow, it's
Not
such
able
a
to
double
control her emotions.
emotional, all the things, right? And I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, I see the two different sports and the women in volleyball, baby. The coaches, yeah, it's some crazy shit that goes down in volleyball with like calls and stuff, but the women, they stay composed. The men in basketball, or hell, in any sport that I've seen,
Mhm.
unhinged, emotional, can't control their anger, nothing.
Horrible.
But it's the women that are like labeled crazy.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and there was just this Oh God, did you see that study where it talked about women and autoimmune diseases?
I've been seeing different posts in regards to it. Yes.
Well, this is
I know
what
it too well
listen. This
because
is
I've had
our
autoimmune issues for years.
I want to talk about that because this is
Mhm.
our scouting report.
Yeah.
Autoimmune diseases affect approximately 8% of the population, 78% of whom are women. So, autoimmune diseases, if you don't know what an autoimmune disease is, it's where your body basically attacks itself.
Yeah, your
Like there's
immune
no
system.
external stimulators for it. Your body starts attacking itself.
Mhm.
So, from a scientific perspective, they are trying to say it's because women have a certain gene that men
It's
don't.
it's
But
not, it's stress.
it's stress from it's environmental factors. So what happens, and because you know I'm a nerd, what happens with autoimmune
Mhm.
diseases
Me
is
too.
we all carry these genes inside of our
Mhm.
bodies, but
Mhm.
it's something that triggers them to cut on and
Mhm.
start activating. And
Mhm.
when those stressors, environmental stressors,
Reach
activate these
out.
genes, that's when the autoimmune disease kicks in. And they
Mhm.
say, like studies have shown that autoimmune diseases in women occur due to the role they play in society. Like we carry more stress. We are not
Mhm.
allowed, like anger inside the body is toxic for
Mhm.
women. And we
No, it
are
is.
not allowed to be angry or show that we have any emotion
So
other
you
than,
suppress. You suppress
yeah,
it.
that we're just expected to just be happy and pleasant and accommodating and
Mhm.
peaceful all the time. But when a woman expresses her anger, she's labeled,
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm.
then we're dealing with anger, we're dealing with stress, we're dealing with responsibilities, we're dealing with
Mhm.
working,
Society, judgment, this and
society,
that.
judgment,
Especially
all of
as a
that.
single woman, it's just it's a lot. It's a
It's a
lot.
lot.
Mine
And
started in college.
what was it, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh yeah, so I was in college. I was in London, and so my thousands of miles away from home, and I hadn't really been feeling well, but I had been operating like that for so long. It was just kind of my normal. Do you know what I mean? Like I just thought, well, this is how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know any
Mm-hmm.
different. And one day I remember I woke up, I had classes, and I couldn't move. It was like how Dominique Dawes says, like the twisties. My mind was telling me to get up, but my body was not responding. And
Oh.
I literally could not move any of my body. It was the craziest, scariest thing I've ever experienced. So Thomasina, which was one of the facility faculty there, she was able to help me get up and get dressed and took me to the hospital. And they ran several tests and came back that I had cancer. And so here
No.
I am, in college, away from family, and I get this diagnosis. Now, all I knew is I felt like crap, and my
Mm-hmm.
ankles would swell to about like this size at the end of the day, and I would just wrap them and wrap them and wrap them so I could walk on them because I had so much fluid retention.
Mm-hmm.
So about 2 weeks, I thought I had cancer, and we were preparing to do further tests. So I flew home, and it came out that I actually had medically induced lupus, which was caused by a drug I was given from my what do you call it? My dermatologist to cure acne.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a big thing for just men and women is to understand and read all the labels. If it says
Mm-hmm.
it could cause this, most likely, especially if your body is very sensitive like mine is, I don't take
Mm-hmm.
anything because I can't because I'm so uber sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what led to the lupus. And because of the lupus and what I had to be on to cure the lupus, I have issues even to this day, whether it's arthritis and different things. So, like I said, if you don't have to take medication, don't take it. It's always best to just kind of let your body do its natural thing or find natural
Mm-hmm.
alternatives. But I think I was more predisposed to having that reaction to the drug because of the stress I was in,
Mm-hmm.
being away from home, doing, really challenging classes. I was a double
Mm-hmm.
major and a minor at the time. I was taking on more. I was dealing with so many different things that we deal with as a female.
Right.
Um, and so that just kind of weighed on me.
Yeah.
But I find that now as I'm older, I'm able to control my symptoms through like good diet and rest
Mhm.
and everything. But about 4 times a year, I have like a relapse. And those
Really?
relapses are it's always due to high amounts of stress, not taking time for myself because I'm running around doing stuff for everyone else. I'm not sleeping. I'm
Mhm.
not eating properly. I'm one that I have to prepare my meals. I have to cook. I have to make sure I have sleep. I make sure I have to sit in a sauna. I have to work out. Like
Right.
when I do those things, I'm healthy as can be. But if I don't take the allotted time to really focus on me and
Mhm.
stress, I
Mhm.
go right back into that where I can't move. I'm exhausted. So it kind of, I always look at that as that's my sign from God of slow down,
Right.
check in with
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
And I think there's so many women that, I wouldn't say fortunate, but like I think being single, I'm able to take that time when I need to slow down to kind of put
Mhm.
myself in a bubble because that's where I thrive. Unfortunately, is when I'm in a bubble because I
Yes.
can just take care of myself, but that's not a realistic way to live or
Right.
healthy way necessarily.
Right.
But if I was someone like you with kids, I couldn't really shut down like I need to take care of myself because I'd be taking care of everyone else. I could not take care of my
Mm.
kids.
I
So,
it's such a challenge because I
yeah.
just my friend, my dear,
Mhm.
dear friend, just experienced like having to have a major surgery. And she had no clue that anything was wrong with her
Mhm.
because she's a busy mom. She's a single mom. She has two girls that are same as me, very busy
Mhm.
athletes, travel every other
Mhm.
weekend, practice
Mhm.
every day, like
Yeah.
we call
A
ourselves
lot on
Uber
our plate.
drivers because we're just shuffling kids all around all the time. And like
Mhm.
we live in a state of exhaustion. Like my normal state is exhaustion.
Mhm.
Like I don't know what it feels like to be rested
Yeah,
or like
that's just your norm.
properly hydrated or like making sure I have like all the fruit and vegetables and protein I need. I
Yeah.
don't know what that is because I'm constantly just on the go, like grabbing
Mhm.
whatever I can get, right?
Yeah.
So she was living in the same constant state of exhaustion. She didn't know, and she ended up having a major medical issue. And the doctor was like, "Aren't like asking her, aren't you tired?" And she was like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, but that's normal. Like
She's
being
like, "That's
exhausted
my
is
norm."
normal for me." So it's so scary for women because we just have to operate. We have to go. We don't
You
get
have
the
to keep going.
luxury of
Otherwise, the ship sinks.
it sinks. Like something is not getting done. Someone is not going to be where they need to be. A bill won't be paid. Like we don't have staffs of people. We are the staff
Mhm.
basically. And then
Mhm.
don't realize. I think women don't realize like how much responsibility that we carry.
Mhm.
And a lot of them don't have partners and don't have the
Mhm.
luxury of
Yeah.
ever slowing down or stopping until they're forced to. And like until because that's what your body will do. Your body will force you to stop
That's what
and
mine
slow
does.
down
I have no
if
choice.
you don't pay attention to it. And I think for so many women it's normalized in our society, like that hustle culture, that grind, so
Mhm.
we just keep going. We're pissed off, but we don't get to express ourselves about it, like
Mhm.
because we'll be labeled the angry, emotional, mad,
Oh, yeah.
bitter, whatever woman, you know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
we are carrying all this emotional weight and physical responsibility, and we get burnt out. And
Mhm.
it's literally our bodies start attacking
Yeah, we drain our
itself.
adrenals.
We
Yeah.
drain ourselves. So I just really want like my intention for the next 6 months. Oh my God. We're gonna have to
Mine
like
too.
post it on socials. I
Yeah.
saw this
I need
post
this
that this
challenge.
reel that was like this little dog that's like hairs all over the place, the tongue is hanging out, and it was
That's
like
I know what you're talking about. I've seen that. I was
January.
like, "That's me. That's me."
January 1 is like, this is gonna be my year. And by July, it's like, fuck, I've
Oh
been
gosh.
fucking beat to death. Like I'm
Like someone ran
tired.
over me
So
and
I'm
backed
just
up.
a mess, literally a mess.
I
But we
know.
have to like be intentional with our lives because if we don't slow down and take care of ourselves, like
Yeah.
something will make us slow down and take care of
Mhm.
ourselves. Like we can't
Mhm.
we women don't ask for help. Like, I just started asking for help,
No, I don't ask for
which is
help
sad. Like,
either.
I'm 37 years old. Like, I should be able to
Yeah,
feel comfortable enough to ask for help. Like, I do have people around me that will help me. But
of
because
course,
we are
yeah.
in this hyper independent society, we don't ask for help
No.
because
Mm-mm.
that's looked when women ask for help, we are looked at as like we're weak or
Mhm.
fragile or docile. We
Mhm.
can't do it alone. And it's like
Yeah.
we were not created to do it alone. We were created to
Mm-mm.
live in community and have
Mhm.
support. But because
Mhm.
of the way women are treated in society, if we ask for anything, it's like, oh, she's
Mhm.
weak, or she's not a good
Yep.
mom, or she can't do it, or
Mhm. Or she's
whatever. And it's
needy or
yeah.
yeah.
So it's like we're damned if we do, we damned if we don't.
Yeah.
We damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. Meanwhile, men can't do shit, and they're fucking crashing out, as the kids say, at basketball games.
And I know. It's so crazy. It's a lot of stress. I was so funny. I was talking with my neighbor the other day and we had a laugh about it. But you know, it's so funny. I think and it never stressed me out, but I'm single. I've been single for a while, happily, and I think it scares me how much I'm really dropped into this single era and really
hmm
honestly kind of enjoying it. Not that I don't want a partner, but like I'm really happy like
Well, you
with
don't
where
have
I
the
am.
stress.
I
You
don't
don't have
have
the
the
stress
stress
and responsibility of having
to
to
incorporate someone.
not even to
Is
incorporate
it
someone, but like to
I don't know
the
how to describe it.
responsibility of it's the responsibility of
Of
having a
someone
partner because
well, I always
that's
but you know
that's
what?
a responsibility.
I always felt like I was responsible for my partner's happiness, and that
Yeah.
was like a
Oh,
big
that's a good
stress.
one.
Like, are they happy? Are they content? And it
Mhm.
was always me trying to feel like, well, what can I do to make you happy? And that's exhausting.
Mhm.
But I was talking with my neighbor, and one of their dogs passed away. They were really close with their
Aw.
dogs, and we were just talking, and then I was talking to his little girl, and she was like, "Oh, I want to see your cats. I have two Bengals," and she always sees them because they sit in the window. And I was like, "You can come over." And we were talking about, she goes, "You have other cats." And so, you know, I can't, I love animals and I hate to see an animal suffer. And we
Mhm.
unfortunately have quite a few strays and they
Mhm.
have all found their way to my back patio. And I'm feeding like 3 stray cats right now, and they, like, stay in my backyard because they know it's safe, and I feed them daily, and I feed them good food like my
Right.
cats. I give them the vitamins, I do all the things 'cause I can't help it, I just can't help it, and I have contacted the Humane Society because there's a local place here that will
Mhm.
take them in, and I'm still
Mhm.
waiting to hear so I can scoop them up and take them there. But my neighbor, he started laughing. He goes, "Yeah, I know, you're like the cat house." And we were laughing because, he's like, "Yeah, the single lady," he and
Right.
his wife were laughing because, I'm the single one on the street with all the cats. And
It's
it's just like, and
it's
it's stressful. And remember, I had my other neighbor behind me
oh my
was
gosh.
apologizing for an incident, and he left a card on my door with a cat and a ball of yarn. So it's like apparently the whole street knows I am the single woman with cats. And I laughed about it, but at the same time, it kind of stressed me out.
Yeah,
Do
because
you know what I mean?
it's
Because
another
of this,
stereotype.
this,
Yeah,
this
and it's the
the
stigma
society.
of being single.
And
Yeah.
then the vice president candidate with Trump just made the thing about women with cats that are single
Yes.
and never not having kids, and that put another stress. So it's just like all these things, you start to feel like you are not worthy because you're not married, you don't have
Right.
kids. It's one of those things where it's like you just have to
They
really check in with
perpetuate.
yourself.
It's this stigma and this like
Hmm.
negative connotation with just being single,
Yes.
perpetuated by what? Emotionally unhinged men in our
Hmm.
society. That's what it is. I was
And there's
talking
women that support it too, though, Ashley.
the women are the
You know,
worst. The women
that's what
that
I'm saying.
support these
It's
men are the
just the
fucking
men.
worst. They get on
It's
my
yeah.
fucking nerves. Because I
And so
feel like
that's
as a
that
woman,
stress.
like you know the stuff that we go through.
Mhm.
So you for you to
Exactly.
endorse or support men who hate
Mhm.
women, I can't deal with. I don't support women
Yeah.
like that. Those are the
Yeah.
women that I'm not cool. I can't deal with.
No, and I found it stressing me out, and even though my neighbors are, like, the best in the world, I'm so blessed. We were just laughing
Mhm.
in general. They're, like, not like that, but I was just saying, like, the idea that I know what people are
You
saying,
know how you're being
and then
perceived. Yeah, and judged
which is far
ultimately.
from the truth. I'm like, "I'm
Right.
great. Like, I'm good. I love animals, and I
Right.
wanna take
And there's
care of
nothing wrong with that.
them."
And more people, like, I feel like more women are figuring out, oh my God, over the weekend, because we're at the sports and all the moms are together, just chit
Mhm,
chatting. One of them is going through a divorce. And she's so
mhm.
funny. She was like, you know what? I think I got two options. And we were like, what? She was like, I think a woman is my option. She was like, I don't want to be with a woman romantically, but to co-parent with a woman would be my ideal situation because women actually help each other. Where like my husband doesn't help me with my kids at all. He's like another kid that I have to raise. But if I had a woman, we could co. She was like, I don't want her touching me, but we could co-parent together. And I was
Yeah,
like,
I don't want them touching
girl.
me. No. Nah. I guess that would be easier, but I just can't. Like, it's not me. But that's cool if other people can go that route, but I can't do it. But the thing
It's
is,
so
like,
It's funny because I say I'm cursed. I am cursed with liking men. I'm cursed
I
with liking men.
me too. I
I wish
can't
I
even.
wish, I wish I wasn't, but I am. Cause
I am too. I am too. And did you see they had it on Good Morning America? This was like maybe a year ago, where single mothers who were divorced, it was like four of them, and they had
Mhm.
this huge house that they all
That's my
moved
dream.
into, and they
That's
were
my
helping
dream.
each other, and they had their kids, and they were just
Mhm.
talking about how happy they are because they have community together, they're not
Mhm.
alone, but
Mhm.
they help each other so much. So one
That
is
is
always
my
like,
dream.
I'll take the dishes, I'll cook dinner, I'll take the kids here, I'll do the grocery shopping, I'll do the laundry. They're all helping out, and they're all straight women. These are not like
Yeah. And
these are
they just go
straight
have
women,
they have fun with men and they live in a community and that is my dream.
and
Like
their kids are so happy.
if I could have a compound with my best friends and our
Uh-huh.
kids, one
Yeah.
is a great cook. She could cook every day. She loves to cook. I don't want to cook.
Right?
One could do the sports because I'm
Mhm.
tired. I can't do the sports every weekend. I would make sure all their education
I was
everything
like,
they
"You
need
could
for
do the homework. You
school,
could
the
help with the homework."
tutors, the homework, like the schedules. I'll
Yes.
do the hair. I got the hair.
Yep.
I am
Yep,
kitchen
you do all
beautician.
that,
All the
right?
hair. And then one is like the fun planner to do all our
Yep.
trips. Like we would thrive in community.
Thrive.
You know
You
what
would
I'm
have the
saying?
community. It's true.
We would
It
not,
is true.
honey, and it would be
Mhm.
like seamless. That's
Mhm.
my dream. Yeah.
But, I think that's a great thing is that people now are finding their different ways. And
Mhm.
and I hope it gets better because, I'm hearing this, men are getting it too because I've heard, where I've seen some single guys and they seem like great guys. I don't know whether they're great or not. Who knows? But people will be like, "Well, if a guy's still single, something has to be wrong." I was like, "No, maybe he just chose for his life." I think men are looked at as they have to be providers, they have to do this.
Mhm.
But you know what? Hey, maybe he doesn't want to do that. Maybe he just
No.
with as
And maybe he
expensive
knows
as
like
hard as life is,
I won't be a good dad. I won't be a good husband. I've got to be single and I want to live my life and
right?
frolic around and do whatever I want to. And I respect that.
I do too.
Don't come fuck up my life because you don't know what you want
Exactly,
to do with yours.
exactly.
You know what
That's
I'm
the
saying?
key. So I'm just hoping that in general for men and for women, we just give each other grace.
Yeah.
We respect each other's boundaries. We respect each other with what we choose for our lives and we let it go.
I in
That
words
that's my
I,
that's
in
my
the words
hope.
of my mama and my grandmother, mind your fucking business. Like, stay out
Exactly.
of
Why do you
it.
care that much
Why
about
do you
someone
care?
else?
Get out of my business. Stop
I
trying to
just want
dictate
us
or set the standards for
right.
my life. Like, let me live and
Exactly.
mind your
Let me
business.
live.
And for women, like this is our in-game adjustments. For women,
Mhm.
let your anger out. You have every right to be mad. You don't have to be violent or volatile
Mhm.
or destructive
Mhm. Of
when you get
course.
angry, but you have the right to be angry about
Express it.
things. You don't, and
Mhm.
you can acknowledge it, express it, process it, and clear it. Don't let
Especially
that build up in
for
you.
young women. For young
Yes.
women.
Do
Don't
not let
suppress
that
it.
build
Just
up in
find a way
you.
to communicate it properly and
Yes,
build your own standards and your parameters. Let
right.
people know it in a respectful
Yeah.
way.
Yes. You don't have to be happy all the time. You don't have to be
No.
like pleasant and like
Mhm.
joyful and like,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
fun all the time. You
Mm-mm.
have
No.
you have a range of emotions. You are a human being and
Yeah.
you feel what you need to feel, right?
I can't be
That's
funny all the time.
literally, right? I mean, God, you were blessed with the best sense of humor, and it can't be on all the time.
Why people can't appreciate it, I don't know, but I agree.
And two, like listen to your body. Like if
Yes.
you're tired all the time, go get go get checked out. Like get your blood work
Yeah.
ran,
Take the time
go
for
get your
yourself.
hormone levels like checked out. Like
Mhm.
listen and honor your body because if you
Yes.
don't, your body will
Mhm.
shut you down.
And build those parameters because you see the quotes every single day. It's okay to, cut certain people off. I'm telling you, the second that I cut toxic people off was the
Mhm.
second that I started feeling better. And it recently, I know we're at our in-game adjustments, but there was a recent interview that went out with Oprah and Gail. I don't know if you
Mhm.
saw that. And
Mm-mm.
Oprah was stating in that you cannot be friends with anyone who has an ounce of jealousy towards you. She
Oh
goes, you just
no.
can't. It doesn't
Mm-mm.
an ounce, like it's not happening. And she
Mm-mm.
was saying that for years everyone thought that she and Gail were gay. But she goes, people didn't understand what a healthy friendship
Right.
looked
Looks
like.
like right.
And she
They
goes,
don't.
Gail is the one who is cheering louder for me than myself. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why they have such a bond and a trust because they truly want to see the best for each other. And so
Yep.
I think we need to normalize healthy relationship, friendships, business relationships, etc. Rather than saying something must be wrong and judging it.
Right. Right.
We need to respect that and
Right.
understand that that should be the norm.
Right.
So,
And just because you don't understand it doesn't mean that it's wrong.
exactly,
Don't make those
exactly,
assumptions.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which goes back to let's give each other grace. Let's stop
Mm-hmm.
judging each other. Let's,
Mm-hmm.
instead of judging, just be there for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Or the best thing you can do is just be respectful and be kind.
Yep.
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 That's
And
my two
I
cents
think
for
that's
the
a
day.
great place to wrap it up. Thank you for
Yep.
joining us for another
Yep.
episode of the Bachelor Breakdown. We'll see you next month. And until then, do you, be
Be
you. We love
you. Love
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.